Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we have with us Claire Bidwell, and she is the main founder of the organization Let Kashmir Decide. So we will be talking to her and interviewing her. What was her idea behind starting this organization? So welcome to the show, Claire. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along.
That's a pleasure. Claire, could you please tell us that how you got inspired to start an organization like Let Kashmir Decide?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it came around by accident, really. The background to it was I was on holiday in Mumbai. I purchased 2 Kashmiri rugs from a Kashmiri salesman in Mumbai. We kept in touch after the purchase, and one day I'd returned home, and it was a couple of days after, and I simply asked him how his parents were, and he was unable to tell me how they were. So it was the very simple level of, you don't know how your parents are, you can't contact them. That was enough to upset me. And then find out more, to find out then that the Indian government had gone in and undemocratically locked down the country, sent in 900,000 troops, locked up their political prisoners, and then all the documented evidence of abuses that have occurred after that. And it just, on a very human level, I was concerned that I hadn't heard anything about the Kashmir crisis before this. I was looking around to my media and to my government to see, well, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about the fact that India have illegally gone in and occupied a country? And all around me was quiet. There wasn't anything. And I was filled with, one, a sense of injustice for these people of Kashmir. And secondly, a sense of injustice. Why didn't we know about this? Why weren't we told about this? And why is this being hidden from us? Feeling very blessed with the experience and upbringing that I'd had in my life, when I'm then contrasting it with the experiences that Kashmiris were having over there. So that set off that feeling within me. So I went into social media websites, was the first thing I could do to vent that frustration. I found plenty of voices in there, learned a lot about the issue, I think quite quickly, found lots of support from people in there. And then it was Javad that I'd met online one night. We got talking about the issue. He's from Kotli and Azad. And together we came up with the idea to set up a Facebook group so that we could raise awareness, more so in the West, because obviously Kashmiris are aware of it. So it built from there to, raise awareness and stand in solidarity.
Claire, you were talking about that you read all about the history. So I'm very sure that you know that it was the unfinished agenda on the British part.
Yeah.
So why do you think they are not playing their appropriate role at the moment to solving this issue?
Well, yeah, they're not. For me, the fact that we left that as unfinished business very quickly, very hurriedly, and could be held responsible for those atrocities to this day. So, the government have not. I mean, when I say government, obviously there's a lot of people within the Conservative leading party at the moment that are very supportive of Kashmir. So I'm talking about the Conservative leader and the benches, and not the benches, sorry, the cabinet. So what I would be expecting from them is a condemnation of the human rights that are happening, so that we, more people are aware, because while we don't know, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no condemning. I mean, there should be strict sanctions on India. There should be boycotts. There should be, and sorry.
I can see that you have gone to the different parliament members and the European members as well. Do you think you are getting enough support from them solving the issue? What their idea is on this issue?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, that it's not been, we are battling with COVID at the moment. So that, given that we have COVID there at the moment, I think there are a lot of parliamentary members that are really, raising voice for Kashmir. There was over 70 parliamentary members at the cross committee or parliamentary party group at the House of Commons. So there's a lot of voices in there, and they need to work on their leaders, as it were, to lobby for their cause. So I'm encouraged, definitely, and obviously with the work that we've been doing, we are finding support from these members, and that's so important.
Okay, and yeah, because we came to know that, like, you can see as well that this is like a pure human rights violation, which the Indians are doing over there. So I don't know when the what do you think? Why the other like the UN and the other organization, they are in their hibernation mode, and do you think they are going to come out of this phase very soon? Are you expecting anything better from them?
I can only hope and pray. And obviously, well, the first part of your question there is, why do I think this is happening? And obviously, there's lots of things above us, levels above us, that we could only guess at. So we're looking at money, we're looking at trade, we're looking at the economy before we're looking at people's health and well-being. So, and that's just sort
Yeah,
of
exactly.
putting it mildly and scratching the surface. So that's what we've got to deal with. And I think for me, this is why it's so important to raise awareness amongst the common people, because people do care, and if they knew, I'm sure there are
Yeah.
plenty that would react like me, act like me, and then we can put pressure on our councils, put pressure, tell them, let them know that we're not happy, pressure on our parliamentarians to then go forward to Parliament, and so grow the voices really through the legislation, and then hopefully the government's voices grow, which will go through to UN and make UN act. So that's really my vision and my hope for this kind of movement that we're developing. The more voices that we can raise for humanity, the more chance humanity has got. So I remain optimistic.
Okay. This brings me to another question, that what makes your organization different from the other organizations which are also raising the Kashmir issue? What is the difference for the USP for the Let Kashmir Decide?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult to know if there are groups out there that are doing the same of us. But our vision, it just started to raise awareness and stand in solidarity. And then as we've gone, because the idea was built on going to Kashmir and having a world event and bringing all the people from around the world with us to show Kashmir that people cared. In doing so, on the journey, we've met, lots of different Kashmiri organizations raising voice as we've gone. And I mean, even for me, when I was looking around the world, it was the likes of which world leaders are supporting us. Sorry, I'm going off track now. So Imran Khan had brought he'd really woken things up for me in terms of the speech that he gave at the United Nations, reaching out for universal help, from help around the world. And you're looking around and you're not hearing anybody else speak up. So we've got continental representatives around the world, and we've got over 30 country representatives. And the idea is to engage the country representatives to unite all the groups around the countries, regardless of their ideologies, to kind of come and stand together and raise that awareness as one big voice. So they've all got, each and every one of us has got our own skills, our own talents, our own background, our learning. I mean, there's so much work there that has been done that means I've covered, I feel, quite a lot of ground, or we've covered a lot of ground in a short time, because of the work that has been done and that has been going on for years. So we're just trying to, it's uniting all of that together, I think. And I feel that we've got that. There's a lot of people around the world that care, that are coming to our cause from big organizations themselves with their experience. And we've got, all different trades and knowledge with us, whether it's lawyers, whether it's teachers, whether it's researchers, human rights activists, members of Parliament, members of Lords, they're all there with us on a human right level. So I think our Let Kashmir Decide, uniting all different ideologies, is perhaps what we're achieving in this, hopefully.
There is a question from Mushtaq Ahmed. I'll get to it, to the role of Pakistan, but let me first ask you one more thing. That do you think you are getting anywhere successful towards uniting all the organization under one umbrella? Because after all, I think that is going to be, as you were saying, it is going to be very good for Kashmir. So do you think that are you getting anywhere closer to it?
I feel that I feel that we are. I feel on a like an international level that it's almost like we're at the international level and we're working amongst that, and we found so much interest, and again, like I say, so much expertise or anybody with a heart that cares. But then what we're also recognizing all the time, people are coming along to our movement, our organization, and joining us with all these different ideas. So somebody suggested to me the other day, which is an amazing idea, is to come right back to the grassroots level and start looking at cities and towns and having regional people that work at their region to support it through that. So, and we've achieved all that through raising awareness, I think, for our solidarity event. Obviously, we hope the event itself will raise awareness. I mean, I'm delighted, just before I came on air, the headlines of my local newspaper were teacher organises solidarity event. Now, I've never seen anything about Kashmir in the Scottish news at all, let alone even my local newspaper. So that's a step. I'm absolutely delighted with that. So local people around me and in my area will hear about Kashmir, and and we can build on that. And I've been lucky that my MP is really supportive of me as well, and has made my voice heard at very high levels. So it's about, I think we're doing very well. The atrocities that are occurring in India are perhaps going at a faster rate than we're going, though I think that is the concern. So it's very hard to say, yes, we're doing well, when the reality is the situation is escalating and every day people are suffering. And with a domicile law, we've got to work quickly and we've got to work fast. We don't have time. So given that we've achieved this in this short of time, hopefully with lots more people besides us and supporting us and uniting all the different ideologies, regardless of their beliefs, if we can find a way to work together, it's going to be much stronger and much louder, and we'll have more success, I think, for Kashmir and for human rights.
Okay, and Mushtaq Ahmed, he asked that what's the role of Pakistan government in it? Do you think they're playing their role in it?
I mean, it's a very emotive subject, because within our Facebook group, if we talk about the Pakistan government or we talk about ideologies, everybody sort of flares up at once with their different ideologies, and we're having to work and solve that out. I can only speak from my experience and from what I see, and from knowledge I've learned from others. I can't tell you for certain what is actually happening, but what I see is a Pakistan government that are standing up for Kashmir. They put their voice on the international stage, and they have asked for the world leaders to stand up and condemn this action. Imran Khan has said that Kashmir can have their plebiscite. I've got no reason to believe there would be, any reason to doubt that. There are discussions around the similar agreement. Could Pakistan look to, see that annulled? But the other side of that is it not already null and void? But it's been violated already, so does it still stand? And so the issues around that are, I guess they need clarity. But if we're just heading for the United Nations resolutions and regulations and to get the right for Let Kashmir Decide, then that they're already there, and that's what's important. Giving the government in Azad more powers is something that's also been discussed, that comes up in our groups. I don't know enough of that to offer opinion on that, but all I can see is if India violating Kashmir the way they have, that Pakistan is in there with their troops on the border at the moment protecting that side of Kashmir. So I have no reason to see that Pakistan are doing.
That's fine. I know about the Prime Minister, that he had made the speech and then he has brought this issue to the United Nations. But on the other hand, like when you go there and ask for help, are you getting enough support from the Pakistani people? And have you also spoken to the Indian government, like if on this issue? And do you think you're getting any positive response?
I mean, the Prime Minister has been amazing, absolutely amazing. He's been everywhere. He's been raising voice. He's been in Parliament. He's done speeches. His work is second to none, and I'm so impressed with that. At Christmas, I tried writing to the Indian government because I was looking for permission to go to Kashmir to hold the tea event, and didn't hear any response. I'm not able to dialogue through that way. I've spoken with the Azad government, who have been very, very encouraging. I was in contact with the Foreign Minister for Pakistan because I needed to make sure that we would all be able to come over and have our event in Azad. And then that was all put on hold because of COVID. So I haven't worked at that high enough international level to have dealings with the Pakistan government myself, but just in work that I've done, I can only see them, standing up for Kashmir and supporting them.
Okay, so on the last, can you just talk about your tea event? Because I know you are going to hold a tea event on the 30th of May. So could you just tell all the audience about it?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we're holding the event then on Saturday. There's a Twitter storm at 12 noon with the hashtag Let Kashmir Decide. We're looking for Twitter to come alive and be stormed with as many tweets about the human rights atrocities and the acts of the Indian government, any tweets with the hashtag Let Kashmir Decide. And then from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock, we're having tea with various guests on our show from all different aspects of life, whether it's parliamentarians. We have somebody from the USA, we have somebody from Canada, all within roles of governmental roles, and we also have our continental representatives joining us from around the world. So we want people to have a cup of tea for Kashmir. We want people to join in with us and watch us, be on JKTV or in our Facebook group. And the reason behind it is we've got a petition to the United Nations where we're demanding that they give the right to let Kashmir decide, and we're looking for all the evidence that we get from the day from people to support that. So if they upload a photograph with their cup of tea to our events page, the Facebook site, or they leave a comment on the JKTV site, all of that will be evidence for us, along with our petition, to show the United Nations. So we're standing in solidarity and we're raising awareness, and anything more that we can do than that is it's like an icing on the cake. So I'm grateful for all the people that are offering their expertise to come along, and looking forward to it and hoping we can raise more voices with the event.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that you will be successful and make Kashmir be free and they have their own country and freedom, where they can live their own life. And hopefully, I really hope, inshallah, that your plan and your organization be successful and your voices will be heard all over the world. And please, guys, if you're listening, do listen to on 30th of May at 12 noon in JKTV. Is that what it is?
1 o'clock on JKTV. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully we'll be there to support you, Claire, in your noble cause. Thank you so much for being with us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your wishes. Yes, and we'll go on stronger. Thank you.